Welcome back everyone to Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is part 21. So from where we started at the shrine in the refugee camp, we are gonna run down the path and go speak to Shen Jing'an. That's the girl who runs the gang. She's in the tent with her dad. Just run over to her really quickly and talk to her. Give her the true origin pill and she'll be able to help her dad. Once that is done, we want to head back over to the boss arena where we fought Lu Wangzhu. So if you remember, it's up past the shrine and through the double doors to the left, or to the right. Excuse me, to the right. There's a cave over there, but the other entrance is blocked. We're going to go and unblock it here in this video later on. So, I did say that we were going to go back and take out that enemy over at the pagoda, the Tang Palace maid. We're going to go do that now. Now, just so you know, you do not have to. She doesn't drop anything special. You don't get anything super exciting for this. This is pretty much just because I am the way that I am and I'm so thorough. So you can skip ahead if you don't need to do this. But yeah, she's just like a regular enemy in right here anyway. I don't know what the deal is with her. I mean, when we fought her, she was a pretty tough boss, and we didn't get a trophy for her. And in the trophy list, I don't see a trophy for her either. But she just keeps popping up. I don't really get it. Maybe there's something story related that I just don't get. Anyway, you can see she's just, she's a hard enemy. She has a really thick health meter. I say thick, meaning that you can take a whole lot of health off. Like the numbers show a lot of health, but the health meter doesn't actually go down very much. Now, with that fire spell, that helps. That takes a pretty decent chunk off of her. Anyway, you see, you don't really get anything. I mean, you do get the red mercury, which is always good, but you don't really get anything. And then if you come out here, there's one single archer up here that you can take out. You don't have to, of course. There's an item next to him. It is a brilliant red feather. That I would say is pretty important. But, you know, everything is subjective, I guess. I think it's important because I want as much upgrades of my weapons as I can get. See, now I'm going to run past all of those enemies because I've already taken them out once before. So I don't really need to do it again. To progress, we're going to go back into the boss arena, back behind the tree, and up all those buildings. And we ultimately want to get back to where that path split on top of the roofs, where you could go left and enter the refugee camp, or you could go to the right. We're going to go to the right, and that is going to progress our story. So once you get up here and you make it back to the split, you want to turn to the right. At some point I'm going to put my light back on. It's not bad right here, but we're going to get into some areas where we need the light. So follow the scaffolding onto the roof. Here we go. I'm going to switch some of my headgear. Or, yeah, my headgear, some of my armor. We're going to be encountering a few summoners yet again, because we're going to go back through all those areas that we went through to get to Luwingshu. We're going to go back through all those areas, but just at different levels. So we're going to be encountering a lot of the summoners that cause despair. So we need to be dressed to mitigate despair. When you get up here, an enemy's going to run at you. It's just a regular enemy, but he can surprise you if you're not ready. Once you take him out, make your way up, and you can see behind that wall that there is an enemy that glows. He's one of the ones that causes despair. So we're going to run up to him and try to take him out as quickly as possible. As you can see, the despair doesn't start until he notices you. Now on the other side, there's another enemy just like him. So get out of his line of sight. Wait for him to... Well, I guess I was going to say wait for him to come around, but he's spitting fire at us. But we had some help from the wall so that the despair didn't get to us too much. Once you take him out, that should start going down. There's an item on the shelf that you can grab, and then we want to make our way down the stairs. Here, I think I was just waiting to make sure that I wasn't going to get any more despair. Be careful, there is, in this room, there's one of those golem enemies. He can surprise you, but I think he just fell off. In here, you can go down that ladder, but I would recommend dropping here because there's a purple item up here. It's a brilliant red feather, and then in addition to getting the brilliant red feather, we can go along these rafters and drop down onto one of these bow enemies. Just pick whichever one you think you can get a better angle on, and you'll want to drop down and hit R1, and you should get an automatic poise break. That takes out one of them completely. So now you don't have to worry about two, you only have one. Unfortunately, his spell corrupted me, but we'll be okay, I think. Yeah, he should just fall down dead. He did. And now we can pick up the items that are in the room. We drop down here on purpose because there's a chest over there. And even though you might think that this is a Benediction chest, it is not. It's much more important than that. Open it up, and inside you're going to get the Cloudpiercer spear. So this is another weapon, and we absolutely have to have that. So be sure to grab the spear out of that glowing box before you climb up the ladder and continue on. Seems like the ladders, some of these ladders are just ridiculously long. Like, at what point do they get flimsy in the middle because they're so long? I don't know. Go back up the stairs and come around behind them to get back into the room where we first saw the summoner, and make your way over to the next flight of stairs that goes up. In here behind you there is a bow enemy. Don't let him scare you, because if you're not ready, he can definitely startle you and take a pretty good chunk of health. There's a couple of items here. I think he may have dropped one and then he was guarding the other. I'm going to check everything in here. You can see that there is a ladder that goes up. But before we go up there, I'm just going to walk around and make sure that we have absolutely everything out of this room. Once you're finished exploring, make your way up the ladder. And up here, we're actually inside of an attic. You'll make your way out onto a roof. I'm going to run around the back side because there are summoner enemies throwing lotus spells at us. Again, this is why we changed the outfit so much. There are just so many summoner enemies. Be careful that a bow enemy is going to come flying down at you. I took out the bird with the arm feather, and that bow enemy can come inside of here, so we're going to have to take him out. It just sucks being... I'm trying to get to where I can deal with the bow enemy without going outside and having to deal with the lotus spells. Okay, with that taken care of, you want to interact with the mechanism here that has the purple light on it. And we're going to swap out the bridges again. So this is that same building that we were in last video. But this is just a different area of it. Because you can only have 2 bridges down at one time, apparently. When you get over here, take out this summoner enemy because he causes despair damage. And then when you come over here, you'll see another bird with an arm feather. They're all over the place. Read this paper, and it's pretty much going to tell you that it's safe to drop down. So just walk forward and you'll drop down. You won't injure yourself or anything. Go and pick up the purple item over in this corner. And then you can head down the stairs to where there's another mechanism with the purple light on it. And this is the very first area that we came in. So this is that same enemy that we took out the first time we came through. We just went on the opposite side. So when we interacted with the mechanism, 2 other bridges went up. And this time, those bridges went down. There is an item in this room. I may come back off camera and try to get it. There's a purple item on the edge, right to the right of where I am now. It's on like a tiny little ledge. I'm not exactly sure how to get to it as of right now, but I may come back off camera and try to get it just in case it's a red feather. Anyway, make your way up the stairs, interact with the next mechanism. To the left of that, there's an item here that you can pick up if you wish. And then you can check out what's down the other stairs. I think this is where we came from, but there's another set of stairs that goes down if you want to check this out. There's a spike floor over there, but I don't even see an item. So I'm not worried about it. Let's cross over the bridge here. And you can see to the right is the elevator. So we are going to hop onto that elevator and bring it down. Just so that way, if we die and we spawn at the main shrine, we will have access to this elevator because it's just across from the shrine through the back door. This is the room where we fought that lightning red-eyed enemy. So you go out the door and down the stairs, and straight in front is the shrine room. So now that we have brought it down, we'll be able to activate it from the ground floor. But of course, the smart thing to do is once you get back up, before exiting the elevator, just send it back down again. Because we're not going to be using it for any reason other than if we die and spawn at the shrine. So send it back down and then hop off. Now, because I am so nosy, I'm going to run back to where we were before because it's bothering me that I don't know what's down these stairs. So let's go and take a look. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's just one single item and it's not super important. So down here, you'll follow these wooden boards to the bottom, and there's an item and nothing else. Some soul grass. So definitely not important, and you can bypass this if you choose to. There is another item around the corner here, but it's a lotus seed, so not even red mercury. Now you can go over there if you wish. I am not going to. I don't like those spike floors. Let's head back to the main story path. You can come through here and pick up this item if you want to. And be careful, because on the other side of this red wall here, there is an enemy. If he surprises you, he can damage your health pretty good. Now, over here, you can read this item, and you'll see that there is an invisible floor. Follow my path exactly. You want to walk over to the book on the right side first, and then cross directly to the other book. And basically, we're going to follow these greenish yellow lights as if it were a dot-to-dot puzzle. You can't just run all the way across this. You will fall down and die. You have to follow each of these dots just like a child would do a dot-to-dot puzzle. Once you get to the end, you can pick up the item here, and then you can open up this Benediction gate. Once it's open, you will automatically get a new Benediction, and there's a cave inside. So when you get in here, you want to go to the left first. There's a dog there. Take the dog out first, and then you can kind of hang out behind this tree. There are 2 summoner enemies in here, but if you kind of hang out behind the tree, they don't have direct eye contact with you. And when it gets close enough, just run up and try to take it out. Once that one is gone, the other one may or may not be close enough to where it notices you. In my case, it didn't notice me, and I was able to get a backstab and take it out really easily. Once those 3 enemies are taken care of, the room is now empty. So you can feel free to run around and pick up any items that you see. I think there are 1 or 2 items that are always there, and then the enemies drop some items too. But the big thing is staring you right in the face, the large golden chest. This is Forgotten Remembrance number 7. And it is extremely important. So grab that, and then you're going to make your way back through the cave, back the way you came. Yes, you do have to take the invisible floor again. Just do the same thing you did. Follow all of the dots, all of the lights like a dot-to-dot puzzle to make your way back over to the building. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the invisible floor thing. I played a lot of video games that have invisible floors. I don't think I would like that at all in real life. I'm so glad that's just a game mechanic. So now when you come down this wooden walkway, there's a bird with an arm feather sitting on the roof. And you'll come into this building here. Inside of it, when you make the corner around by those stairs, you're going to see a firebird. Try and take him out as quickly as you can. He's got a pretty thick health bar, so you don't want to waste a lot of time with him. We made pretty quick work of him, I think. Then you can pick up the item in the room. And there is a ladder that goes up on the outside, and there are stairs that go down on the inside. To progress, we need to take the ladder. So let's go and check out what is downstairs before climbing up the ladder. When you get down here is a room with a whole bunch of books. I'm going to go behind the stairs first because I know there's a dog there and I don't want him sneaking up on me. There's also an enemy, a very large armored enemy, but lucky for us, these bookshelves don't break. So if you can kind of use them as a barrier between yourself and the enemy, and hopefully you can cause some stagger buildup, get your hits in where you can, and get rid of him. Look around in the area. There are a couple of items scattered around the room. And then you'll see in one of the corners there is a ladder that we can drop down. You want to release that ladder and then climb down. And I don't know if you noticed this when we came in here the first time, but this is a room we've actually been in before. We just couldn't get into this barred area. There's a golden chest here that holds Lost Remains number 8. So be sure to pick that up. There is a large enemy patrolling here, so you may want to get up the ladder before he notices you and start swinging, because he can knock you off the ladder through those bars. So try to be quick about it. Otherwise, you'll have to fight him through the bars. Once you climb back up the ladder, you can go and check out what's outside if you like. Of course, you know I will. Looks like there's an item over there beyond the spiked floor. Really hate those spiked floors. You can grab it and make your way back. And on the other side, I don't think there's anything at all. So make your way back up the stairs, and now we can ascend the ladder that takes you up to the roof. Now once you get up here, there's going to be several enemies that cause despair damage. The quicker you can take them out, the better. And be careful, because the roof across the way has summoner enemies that shoot lotus flowers. So you may want to use the peak of the roof as a shield. You can make your way around, cross this bridge to get into the building that those lotus summoners are on. And when you get up here, we are at the very top of the area where we had the mechanisms that moved the bridges, and that we have the elevator. Now in this room, if you look up, there's a bird with an RM feather on that piece in the middle. Here I'm having to take some fixed origin pills. You can see I died here. I died from despair because that guy across the way is concentrating on me. I'm trying to get out of his line of sight as quickly as possible so that I don't have a despair buildup. So you have to be really quick. Now, once you get out, make your way down this walkway. Turn your lantern on, because we're going into a cave and you're going to see a shrine directly in front of you. Don't go to it just yet. We're going to make our way around the room, and there is an item that you can read over here on the shelf. But the reason I don't want you to go to the shrine just yet is because it is a mimic shrine. You will have to fight the shrine before you can activate the shrine. So just to give you a little bit of a heads up and prepare you, I don't want it to scare you or throw you off guard. I'm going to change out my fixed origin pills now because I'm not going to need those to fight a shrine. So I'm just putting my throwing knives back in my quick slot. When you're ready, come over to the shrine, interact with it, and it's going to grab you and throw you on the ground. Again, the shrines are made out of wood, so they're very susceptible to fire. If you can, try to use a fire spell. Oh, he got me. Yeah, it's been a while since we fought a shrine, so don't be surprised if you feel thrown off or you don't really know its moveset. Or I was very thrown off. Like when he started spinning like that, I was just like, what? Because it had been so long I didn't really remember. So you can see he's on fire now. We made very quick work of him. And now the real shrine is here. And we can offer up some blood and activate it. This is shrine number 30. I think there are 50 shrines total in the game. Let me look back in my notes. Yes, there are 50 shrines in the game, so we have only 20 left to go. Once you're done, don't forget about your mana vases. We have gotten several lost remains and forgotten remembrances, so be sure to keep an eye on those and upgrade them. Don't forget about it. Also, you can check your weapons with your red feathers. You don't want to forget about that either. Once you're finished doing whatever you'd like to do at the shrine, we're going to head up the stairs. You can see I had a little cut there. And I forgot to put my light back on, so I'm going to do that now. When you come up the stairs, you can go over to the right and take a look at this item on that shelf. And there's nothing on the other side. So let's go over to the left of the stairs. You're going to see the storyteller sitting there. I'm going to run past him really quickly just to go and grab off the shelf. There's a purple item. This is the Zhenwu Temple scripture. And then to the left of that is a box you can open with the axe, Cinder, Dragoncoil. That is very important. Both of those items are very important. We need all the weapons, and the Zhenwu Temple scripture is for an NPC. Then you can go and speak to the storyteller, and when you have the option, ask him, why have you come? And then heed the warning. Do not ignore him. Heed the warning. This is important for story progression later on. Then he's going to tell you kind of a long story. I'm going to skip through it as best as I can, but it is quite a lot. Although, I mean, his stories are pretty interesting, I think. I've actually listened to them. I just am not going to force you to listen to them. You can listen to them while you're playing if you're interested. When he's done talking, he'll give you a bamboo shoot. And then you want to continue through the cave, and you're going to go up a wooden platform up onto a roof. Now, where we just came from, those roofs we just came from, where the summoners were throwing lotus spells at us, that's the roof we're on now. You can take out the bird with the arm feather on the very top of the roof, and then come over here and take out the summoners. Now, I took that one out, and then I'm going to run away because I can use the roof as cover from the lotus spells. Most of them are just going to run straight into the roof. You can see them exploding over there. And I'm going to look over here on this side. There's another enemy over there, but he's on the opposite side, so I'll get him on the way around. Once that enemy is de-aggroed over here, we can run over to him and get rid of him. We just threw him off the roof. He didn't die, though. We just took a really big chunk of health off. So we missed out on that red mercury, but that's okay. I guess we can spare it to not have to fight him anymore. You can come around to the opposite side and take out this last summoner enemy over here. Oh, that one died when he fell down, so we got him. Before we leave the area, you can come over here and pick up this radiant red feather. And then climb down this ladder to go into the roof of this building. There's an item over to the left. And then over to the right, there's a summoner that causes despair. This is the one that caused me to die here earlier because he just stands there and stares, so you have to cross in his line of sight. From here, you can see that bird that has the arm feather, but unfortunately, I am too far away to be able to reach him with my throwing knives, so we just missed out on that one. Unless you found a way to do it, and if you did, bravo. Once you come out this way, there's nothing on the building, just take the bridge. Following along this wooden bridge, eventually you're going to run into the NPC, the Plain Warrioress. She's right on the path, you can't miss her. Stop and speak to her.
Well, well. Remember, that also, how far do you think you'll make?
And then knock down this ladder. And when you climb down, we're going to be in a new area that we have not been to yet. Be careful, there are enemies that are shooting cannons at you from here. And it's hard to tell where it's coming from. You can see that one when it shoots, but it can be hard to tell. And then there's another one on the bottom floor also. If you fall down into this red liquid, you can see I'm trying to get out of it. You have to go all the way around. This way, and then there's a ramp up. Can't go up that way either. The roots block the way. So I'm gonna wait for this guy to come over here so that I don't end up getting hit by cannons while I'm trying to fight him. And I'm gonna take the bottom level first, because there's a cannon down here and then there's a higher up one. This guy isn't too hard. You know, he's relatively easy to take out. And then we have to go higher up. There's going to be a very hard enemy in this area up top. He's patrolling up there. You see him? He's got a thick health bar. So there's a shrine nearby, but we're going to have to take him out before we can interact with it. And I got stuck up on this thing, so I'm going to have to fall down into that corrupted water and make my way around. I keep wanting to go up that first area, but I can't. And here he got stuck behind the cannon, so that's kind of good for me. I can at least, you know, take little chunks of health in between his swings. Ooh, he almost got me there. I thought I was dead. I had like a millimeter of health left. There we go. Now that he's taken out, we can safely come up here. You can take out the bird with the arm feather. And if you run around to the opposite side, you can see that there is an item over here. There are also a couple of people cowering over at the end of that wooden platform. I just leave them alone. Now, before we go and interact with the shrine, we're going to head up these stairs. You can see there's a purple item here. That is the sacred token. We're going to grab that and we're going to stop and talk to Buglio. I don't know why he's laying right here, but it doesn't look very good. Anyway, after you grab the token and speak to him, come and interact with the shrine, offer up some blood. That way we can make a save. Here you can do whatever you like at the shrine, but this is where we're going to end this video. So thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe and join me back here in part 22. Until then, Khajiit always has wares.